welcome in, everybody. This is the 423 Football Podcast. I am Brett Hamilton, joined by Brandon Bouchard.
What's up, boys?
And this is a continuation of the 2018 NFL Draft prospects. Today, we are talking about my personal favorite position, running backs.
The running backs, y'all.
yeah, I think that's what it started. I watched Remember the Titans when I was young, and then I had to be Petey. I had to be Petey. So, we're going to jump into NFL Draft prospects after the news. To start off with number one on the news, we've got Frank Gore signing with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I love that pairing with Kenyon Drake. Love it.
Yeah, I don't think either of us got that right in our predictions. We did a couple of
No, we did not.
Ago.
Yeah, and I think Damian Williams signed with the Chiefs, so I believe those are the. I can't remember the rest of the running backs on the Dolphins roster, but yeah, Frank Gore, Kenyon Drake, they're going to share some workload.
Yeah. More news coming out of Miami. Brock Osweiler signing with the Dolphins.
Yay!
Just keeps getting paid, and who knows what they're going to do with him.
Yeah, it's not going to matter.
No,
he'll be a nice backup.
Just one of those backups. That's okay. Alan Hearns goes to the Cowboys, along with Deontay Thompson.
Love both of those.
Yeah.
Love it.
I did not think about Alan Hearns going to the Cowboys. I don't think we talked about that. But I think that's a great fit. I mean, they really need someone to step into that, not necessarily a Dez Bryant role, but they need wide receivers.
Yeah, they need someone they can trust. Yeah, more than Dez Bryant, because Dez Bryant has not been showing up the past couple years.
Yep. And I thought the Cowboys were going to sign Terrell Pryor, but the Jets got him.
Yep. Just like the Jets.
Cool.
I think the Jets are the new Browns. Browns are starting to fix their problems. Jets are slumping in. They're really sliding into the whole thing.
They're creating more problems.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think they're going to draft Baker Mayfield, which that's just going to... It's just going to go downhill from there.
I don't know. Oh, well, Terrell Pryor going to the Jets. Who knows what his role will be. Eagles get Mike Wallace. Are you going to be as hype on Mike Wallace this year as you were last year?
Even more. Even more.
Right.
Even more. I mean, why not? You moved from Joe Flacco.
It was just funny how hype you were.
Yeah, I mean, you moved from a Joe Flacco offense, which he has a good arm, but definitely not what the Eagles can do. And Carson Wentz can sling it just with the best of them. Yep. So, yeah, Mike Wallace there, I really, really like that, actually.
Early rankings, where would you rank him in terms of the other wide receivers that they have? Because they've got a lot of mouths to feed.
That they have? Yeah. Probably third. But, I mean, I'd probably take him over Aguilar if you're looking for just a home run hitter, because obviously Wallace is much more of a home run hitter than the other guys. Alshon still, you want him, and even Ertz, if you're thinking of just pass catchers. I'd like him over Wallace as well.
Okay. So he's still kind of down there, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Christian Michael. Back with the Colts.
Staying woke, baby. He's back. Staying woke. The woke one has returned.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in the draft. They've been talking about running backs possibly. So, it'll be... We hope it's not a committee situation for fantasy purposes. Anyway.
Yeah, and we'll talk more running backs in the draft here in about 5 minutes.
Exactly. Next bit of news, somewhat disturbing news. Zay Jones lost his mind in a hotel room.
Disturbing for many, many reasons.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the details because I honestly just don't like thinking about it. But, what I'll say is, this unfortunate incident that is either some serious mental health issues or drug use. Because that's the only two things that would describe what he did.
I think it was, if you haven't seen the video, I mean, go watch it. It's nothing like too graphic. It's basically... I assume that I think they already said there was alcohol and drugs involved.
Okay.
And what is that? What did your watch just do?
Siri just started preaching to me about serious mental health issues. Wow. Okay.
I don't feel comfortable, but we're being watched.
That was really interesting.
What the heck? Your house is you have your Amazon Echo and you have whatever the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
You are on some government. You are on many government lists.
Well, if they're watching me, then they are going to be really, really bored.
Well, I assume they're listening to the podcast, so that's good. More listeners.
I guess that's why Siri chimed in.
I guess. Anyways,
Zay Jones, you have to monitor that situation in the offseason. I mean, not that he was going to be a high draft priority in fantasy leagues, more of a deep sleeper, possibly pickup. But, he's probably looking at a suspension at the least.
Yep. Martellus
Bennett, I will take credit for this one, retired after 10 seasons, just like I initially thought he would. He had a decent season, and he got dropped the same day his brother got signed, and I guess he just didn't want to try to put himself out there again.
And speaking of just going crazy with Zay Jones, the Bennett brothers have just been. I mean, they're always in the news for saying something or doing something. But we got Martellus Bennett, obviously cutting his career short and retiring. And Michael Bennett, his brother, just got indicted on charges of assaulting. I guess it was just an elderly worker during the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There's that as well. Just more Bennett brothers causing trouble.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. But Martellus has retired, so that's the key. Rumor roundup. We've got one. The Giants are expected to pass on any QB that is not named Sam Darnold. I think that is a great thing because I don't see a lot of. Let's see, how do I put this? I don't think that they would be able to put someone else in that position other than Sam Darnold. I think he makes the best sense for that offense, in my opinion.
I see a lot of people are, like, Sam Darnold is number one on a lot of people's list, but I really, really don't get it with the Giants. I think Josh Rosen is the clear-cut guy for them. Whoever goes there is not starting for a good 2 or 3 years because of Eli.
Unless they're terrible and they just throw them in there again like they did last year.
Granted, I will say Rosen is much more capable of going into an NFL offense right away and being a starter. Sam Darnold still has some things to fix, turnovers, and he's the youngest out of any of these guys. So that might be where I can see he could learn under Eli. But still, I think Rosen's the perfect fit there. And if they're not getting Sam Darnold, Rosen's isn't far of a drop off if that's what they're thinking. But I'll be fine if they take Saquon too. If he falls to him, that's fine by me. If Darnold and Saquon are one of those are gone, then maybe take the other.
That's my biggest thing is. Well, I think Sam Darnold is. He could easily be. He could be the best out of this draft class. I mean, Rosen, there's plenty of upside. Some injury issues and other stuff, but my biggest question is why do the Giants feel like they even need to take a QB in the top 10?
I think they should, without question. I think they should.
You don't think that there's? They
have
a lot of pieces. This is a quarterback that they're not going to start for at least 2 more years.
What's wrong with that? We've seen it happen.
I just think that they're lacking in a lot of other areas that they need to focus on. Where you can get a late round QB that may turn out to be just fine, or trade for someone else.
That's the thing. The late round QBs this year, as we pointed to last week in our last week's episodes, really aren't very flattering. And the next 3 or 4 years. In terms of college quarterbacks coming into the NFL, they're not anything special either at the moment. I mean, we will have those guys pop up.
You're going to have someone next year.
But you don't. There's not usually drafts like this where you have guys like Rosen and Darnold and Allen and Mayfield and Jackson talking about that many quarterbacks going in the first round and maybe even all in the top 20. You don't get drafts like that very often, and I think it'd be a huge mistake to pass on a guy like Rosen just because he's not Sam Darnold.
And they might not have this low of a draft pick next year. You never know.
Exactly.
They may turn it around.
Yeah, and why wouldn't they? Honestly. If they want to win right now, if they want to get Eli another ring or possibly get him there, I can understand just them taking Saquon. That offense will be humming if everyone stays healthy. because they're a year removed from winning that division, or 2 years removed from winning that division, going to the playoffs, and then obviously losing in the first round. But still, that's the same core team that you had. You add Saquon Barkley to that and a few more pieces. That's a very nice offense you got going. Just not very good for the long run.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yep.
All right, so that wraps up news and rumors. Before we jump into the running back prospects, why don't you throw out some teams that you think should be looking to draft a running back in this year's draft?
Well, we've already seen a lot of things in free agency, teams signing running backs, so this could change week in and week out with what teams are looking at. But I'm still going to say the Browns because I still think they have an eye on Saquon Barkley. They got the number 1 and number 4 pick.
Even after Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, they signed Carlos Hyde. They obviously still have Duke Johnson. Adding Saquon in there, I hope they. I don't know what they'll be thinking if they do add Saquon. Like how they're gonna.
How do you justify Hyde being there?
Yeah, how I don't know how they would maneuver that backfield, but maybe they. It's hard to say, but I'll just say the Browns might be still looking for running backs. Maybe even if they pass on Saquon, maybe down the line they can get a late round guy. The Giants going to be looking for a running back. We just alluded to that just a few minutes ago. They just signed Jonathan Stewart, but they don't really have that feature back anymore. They don't have a guy like Tiki Barber or Ahmad Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs, the guys that they could really count on, like the old Giants teams that were winning Super Bowls, but they could very well be in the running for Saquon Barkley or another one of these guys. Buccaneers are going to definitely be looking for a running back. Got rid of Doug Martin, so
all they've got is Jacquizz Rodgers, and they re-signed Peyton Barber too. I think it was just a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
or maybe it was a 3-year deal. I can't remember.
Yeah, but either way,
but he's not the guy.
If Saquon fell to them, I'm sure they would be ecstatic. So that would be perfect.
Ecstatic.
Yeah. Panthers are going to be looking for someone, I believe. They have Christian McCaffrey, obviously, but
he can't be alone in the backfield.
No, definitely not. What they had him doing last year was very, very well done. They kind of eased him into it.
It was also lucrative for fantasy owners.
Yeah, they eased him into it, but by the time the season ended, we really saw what Christian McCaffrey is going to be for that offense. Again, I don't think he's going to be an every down back, though. Broncos could be looking for a running back. They're talking about releasing C.J. Anderson.
No one knows what they want to do at the running back position.
Nope. Devontae Booker, I do not really like him as a premier guy. No. I don't even know if I like him as a third down guy, honestly. But we'll just see what the Broncos are going to do there. Colts are definitely going to be looking for a running back. Frank Gore's gone. Marlon Mack is there now.
He's still developing.
Yeah.
But I think they'll still find creative ways to use him.
Oh, yeah, Marlon Mack, they're going to use him quite a bit.
Really
Christine
explosive.
Michael, honestly, I hate to say it, but he might be cut somewhere in training camp once again. But, yeah, Marlon Mack, I think, is a very, very good complement to, say, another big back that they could sign. Yeah. Seahawks.
Yeah, I wrote them down, too.
Yeah.
Again, they still don't have that really core.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had like 5 running backs last year. There was no one guy. They re-signed Mike Davis, I believe, already.
Yeah.
So,
and so Chris Carson.
Yeah, and people have high hopes on both of those guys, but I still think they're going to try to get another guy to slide in there. And then I wrote down one more team, the Patriots. They don't have the power back that they need right now. They just have Burkhead and I guess they have Jeremy Hill. But I still think they're always looking to snag like a late round running back or quarterback. I feel like those are the two targets they really, really focus on in the later rounds of drafts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the teams I got written down. And again, a lot of teams, there are a whole lot of running backs in this draft. And teams are going to draft guys just for depth and things like that. But I think there's a lot of talent in this year's draft for running back. So, and a lot of guys that could be starters. I think there's going to be a lot of battles in training camp to see who wins out and everything like that.
Right.
But yeah, plenty of teams could go out and snag a running back.
Yeah. You mentioned all the teams that I had written down. That's pretty good. So after last week, we did the wide receiver. Wait, that was last week.
Quarterbacks were last week.
Quarterbacks were last week.
Yes.
And wide receivers were first. if you haven't listened to those, go back and listen to those with lots of information about those positions as far as who is coming into this 2018 draft. So, without further ado, let's get into the top running back prospects. Coming in at number 1, I don't think this is going to surprise anyone.
Shocker. And
honestly, I'll just go ahead and say it, it's Saquon Barkley. Honestly, I was trying to, look through when I was going through the information to prepare for today. I was trying to look at like some potential downsides because everyone's so hype, and I'm just like, too much of a good thing just kind of makes me a little bit wary. But there's not a whole lot that I don't like.
There really isn't.
I just can't find it.
Nope.
I don't know. He seems like he has it all. He's 6 foot tall, 223 pounds. He ran a 440 time at the combine. He had a fantastic combine. He posted, I think we talked about it in the news a few weeks ago, but he posted crazy numbers for the bench press. But he's shown that he has incredible explosiveness. He has the quickness. He's got the speed and the strength. So what do you think? Is there anything kind of catch your eye about him that hasn't been said already?
It's just he's the clear-cut number 1 prospect in my eyes, just in the entire draft. Just this is the guy you want. I would have no problem with the Browns still looking at him at number 1 to take him at that slot. Again, I think this is a guy who can completely turn a franchise around, kind of like Zeke did with the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Again, the offensive line was key there. If he goes to the Browns, the offensive line is set to make Saquon Barkley a superhero, basically, and
minus Joe Thomas.
But that's one position, and Joe Thomas is arguably one of the best tackles that the NFL's ever seen, but that line is very, very stout without him still. So Saquon Barkley going there, I could see that being perfectly fine. But yeah, I think he's the best running back prospect since Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to compare him to Zeke, saying he's the best prospect since Zeke. I think Saquon Barkley is miles and away better than Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and say that now. There might be a lot of flack for saying that because people,
I don't think so.
people are in such high regards to what Zeke is.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that line has made Zeke even Zeke is good, but then there's a whole nother level where that line has boosted him to, and it's far and beyond what I think his talent really is. But I think Saquon Barkley is really the only clear-cut feature back in this class. The guy who can be
that you can plug him into that role
and
play every down you ask him to.
Say 100%, this is going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Other guys could step up into that, but I think Saquon Barkley is 100% the only clear-cut guy who can do that. Just an all-around rare talent. Just that's the one. Just rare is what I would one word to describe Saquon Barkley.
Yep. The team who gets him is going to be very, very, very lucky.
Yeah, and it's pretty safe to say he's going to go top 5. One of those teams in the top 5.
They have to.
Yeah.
And there's plenty. They all kind of need him. So
yep.
It'll be interesting. For my as far as a comparison, it was really hard for me to find a comparison. The one I wrote down I don't really like, but I wrote down David Johnson.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just they are similar. Barkley just seems to have so much more strength than David Johnson.
Have you seen David Johnson run the ball?
I know, but it's just something about it looks a little bit different when Barkley runs. But they're pretty similar in the fact that they're both complete 3-down backs. You put them out there and ask them to do anything, and they can do it.
Yeah, I will say Barkley does seem to, or it's not a knock on Barkley, it's a knock on David Johnson. David Johnson seems to run a little more upright than Barkley does.
Yeah,
Barkley's
maybe
more like the shifty, or I wouldn't say shifty, but more like center of gravity.
Yeah, he gets down lower, and I think maybe that's what.
Just when you watch, when you watch them run.
Yeah.
Now in the open field, they're identical, pass catching, everything. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Who we got at number 2?
Number 2, Derrius Guice from LSU. We both had him at number 2, so we're in agreement there. He's 5'10", 224. 40 time was 4.49, which kind of shocked me. I didn't expect him to run it that fast, but yeah, Derrius Guice, I mean, fantastic career at LSU. He obviously sat behind Leonard Fournette for 2 years, so that kind of we didn't really see much of him until this past year. But I mean, he's a tough downhill runner. Doesn't go down on first contact. Seeks out contact, which I love that in a running back. Absolutely love that. Yeah, and the guy, I mean, there's not much to like or dislike about Derrius Guice other than maybe his pass catching ability isn't up to par with some of these other guys. But
yeah,
I think he's had a tough life. I mean, he's from the ghetto. I love like stories like that where guys come up from nothing. I mean, there's a guy he watched his, or I don't know if he witnessed it, but his dad got murdered in their house when he was a child. And then I don't know. I don't really want to put much emphasis on like all the combine crap he had to go through. Asking if he was gay, asking if his mom was a prostitute and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, the fact that he can maturely handle those situations is a very good sign. I just don't. There's not much to not like about Derrius Guice. What are you thinking about him?
No, I love the way he runs. He's very aggressive, kind of the way that Leonard Fournette was coming in. He's just not afraid to get hit, and he's not afraid to hit defenders. Even I think transferring to the NFL will be pretty similar to Leonard Fournette in that you can still see his college style play out in the NFL and be successful at it.
Yeah.
So I really like him. I compared him to Marshawn Lynch. Maybe not now, but in
beast mode. That's he wants to be called beast mode.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that's a great comparison because they're both. I mean, in Marshawn Lynch's prime, super athletic. He has great footwork. He can spin out of tackles. I mean, we've seen it a million times. He can push piles. They both run with, I think, really good discipline at following their blockers, not really trying to get in trouble with their improv, and a way that a lot of younger running backs do.
Yeah.
Kind of freak out and start running around. They're really disciplined, and they'll follow the block as far as they need to take it. Who'd you have him compared to?
Well, I had Marshawn written down, obviously, but I wrote down Zeke as well.
Okay.
I think they're both similar size, similar 40 times, quicker than I thought they would turn out to be. Zeke's a little bit faster, but I think with a really good offensive line, Derrius Guice could be basically what Zeke is. He doesn't catch the ball that much, mainly on some screens, maybe some stuff in the flat. Yeah. But, I think they could be very, very similar. Just tough, hard-nosed runner, seeking out contact. And, I fully expect Guice to probably maybe slip into the first round. Or sneak into the first round. Definitely, I think he'll be gone by the second, or by the time the third comes around.
Yeah, no doubt. Number 3, this is a pick that I thought was going to be a lot different than what Brandon had written down, but we actually had him ranked at the same time. Rashad Penny from South Dakota State,
San Diego State.
Sorry, San Diego State. I really like what I see from Rashad Penny. I mean, going back and watching his tape, he's like the ideal size for a running back in the NFL. He's 5'10", 224. He ran a 4.46, which is pretty quick.
That's quick. That's almost. I mean, he's almost the size, or Saquon and Rashad Penny are nearly identical in size, and almost identical in the 40 time. Only 0.06 seconds off of that 40 time Saquon ran. So he's quick and big. So
so Penny, he can move, and that's a really good knock for him to come in and perform well at the combine. He was a backup for his first 3 years of college, backup to Donnell Pumphrey.
Who disappeared on the Eagles. Yeah. He has a ring, but he
does have a ring.
Didn't really hear much about him.
No, I mean, I'm not even in the rotation.
Once they got a Jai, they had 4 running backs in front of them. So
yeah, that's true. He led the FBS in rushing with 2,248 yards on 289 carries. Impressive numbers from college. He led all draft-eligible running backs with 80 missed tackles, and I thought that was something that stuck out to me when I was watching the plays they run. He can really break tackles.
Dude, it's weird seeing a guy that size, and it's not even breaking tackles because he can, but it's it's just flat out. He is shifty enough to the way he bounces outside. Again, the competition in college and the speed a lot different from the NFL, but the way he bounces outside reminds me of LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
I don't know, just the way he shifts and he pushes outside and then he's gone. And again, his speed in college, it's basically running against high school kids. But I love his ability to be shifty even at the 224 weight.
Yeah, it's impressive. And another thing that stood out to me was his 8 touchdown returns that he had when he was punt and kick returner. That's really good.
Yeah.
and that's going to be another incentive for a good team to pick him up, and he may get some. It doesn't really affect fantasy that much unless you're
in one of those leagues.
Unless you're in one of those.
But
leagues.
But
it's a good plus.
Yeah, I didn't have him compared to David Johnson, but I think it's like when we first saw David Johnson when he started his NFL career, we saw him on these explosive returns, and Rashad Penny definitely has a little bit of that in him too. But the main thing I saw that really, really, really stood out to me is his vision. Yeah. And that's the thing I usually look for the most in a running back is can they see how the play is developing?
Can they see?
Can they hit the hole? Can they see what blocks are being set up and everything like that? And Rashad Penny, I think, really, really has that.
Yeah.
People keep knocking him, saying that even though he's a big body, he doesn't use his body to his advantage all the time. But I just think it's because he's been able to force so many missed tackles and see his vision being able to pick holes and avoid contact.
Yeah,
that's what I see that as. And again, great pass catching ability as well, which that's really good for a bigger back. He actually has pretty good hands. I saw quite a few plays where they sent him on wheel routes. Actually sent him over the middle of the field, and it's pretty impressive. Not many running backs can do that. But I have him compared to Mark Ingram. Actually, he's not the tallest guy. But he's got the stout weight. Mark Ingram can catch the ball. We haven't seen that much, or we didn't get to see that much last year because Alvin Kamara stepped in the role.
And he can also catch the ball.
He can. But Mark Ingram, he's a bigger guy who you wouldn't think would catch the ball that much.
Yeah.
But he can, and he's pretty shifty as well. Low center of gravity. That's where I got him compared to Mark Ingram.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's one I had thought about putting down. There's a couple of people that I had him compared to, but I think I'm gonna go Kareem Hunt. Just the way they run, and Kareem Hunt, he had really good vision coming into his rookie season last year, and that was one of his things that really stood out to me when I was watching the Chiefs play. And I think there's a lot of similarities in just how they run and how they hold themselves.
Yeah,
I can see a lot of that in Rashad Penny.
Yeah, and obviously,
and they might end up going in the same kind of
draft range. Spot, yeah. And obviously Penny's a little bit bigger than Kareem Hunt, but honestly, Penny's got close to the speed that Kareem Hunt does too, which is kind of scary seeing that. But I think. See, I don't really know, just based on draft needs and everything, I don't know how many running backs are actually going to go in the first round.
Yeah.
I think Penny has the talent to be a first rounder, but I think he's probably going to be a day 2 guy, second round, third round, possibly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Number 4 on our list, we've got Nick Chubb. Where did you have him ranked? I think
Nick Chubb.
Did we agree on that one?
I believe I switched it back and forth because I had him over Penny there for a little bit.
Okay.
But I think 4 is where I slotted him in.
Yeah, Nick Chubb. He's unfortunately had that ACL injury that really tainted his college career. But he's extremely similar in Rashad Penny as far as body type, 5'10", 220. His 40 time is a little bit slower at 4.52. Which still not bad.
No, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I mean,
especially for his size.
We were just blessed that the top 3 are actually just really fast that we were talking about. So that is by no means sloth pace. But he 2 years ago, he looked like the number 1 running back prospect, and unfortunately had that ACL injury. How much do you think that affected his? It obviously really affected his value going into last year, but. How much do you really think it affected like the longevity of what you think his NFL career could be?
Well, I think he's lost maybe a little bit of a step, maybe some with speed and his agility, but I think he looked fine this year. He recovered nicely. The thing with ACLs, obviously you hear just ACL and everyone freaks out. Like they think it's like it's the end of everything. Their career is pretty much over.
Yeah.
But I think like just the surgeries that are going on right now, I feel like the repair process and the recovery process are so much better than they were, say, even 5 years ago. And I really think ACLs are not even. I'm not going to say significant, but they don't have the same impact as they once did. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, it's something to keep an eye on. If it happened again, I could understand that's a big deal. Yeah. But Nick Chubb, I don't see why there'd be any reason to doubt him. The only reason he's not number 1 this year is because we have guys like Saquon Barkley and Derrius Guice and Rashad Penny stepping up, and even guys below Nick Chubb that really this is a really, really rich running back class, and Nick Chubb could have easily headlined it if it wasn't for a few of these guys. So I got him compared to Frank Gore.
Dang it, I do too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be different on that one.
I thought I was too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'll let you take it.
All right.
Give me the Frank Gore comparison.
Both of them, as I watch Nick Chubb run, they're both really hard to take down, and they're great hard-nosed runners. One of the things Frank Gore has done a lot of in his many, many years of being in the NFL, he's racked up a lot of yards after carry. And I feel like Nick Chubb could do the same things. He's hard to get down, and he does produce a lot of yards after carry. Another good comparison fact is they both suffered knee injuries in college, and we saw Frank Gore not really go as high in the draft as he would have because of that injury. And I feel like this might be a little bit of what Nick Chubb's going through. And Frank Gore's had a great career. It could have been a lot better if his knees hadn't bothered him so much. But
how much better can you get? Number 4 rusher of all time, or close to being the number 4 rusher of all time.
Yeah, I mean it is great. And you don't want to go back and attribute anything to his knee issues, because it really didn't. Again, it didn't bother him in the NFL at all.
We haven't seen any. He's one of the most durable players in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it might be the same thing with Nick Chubb, where you don't really see. I mean, maybe he's not quite as fast as he used to be. Maybe he can't make the cuts as he could as a junior. But I feel like that's a pretty good comparison to where I think he'll be.
Yeah, and Frank Gore's not. I mean, he's not known as the speedster. He's not really known as a guy who will juke you out. He's smart. He's got good vision. Both of these guys have they're kind of they're stocky, broad shouldered, low center of gravity, hard to take down. They just know how to run the football, and I really like Nick Chubb as a definitely first and second down back in the NFL.
Yep, I do too.
And again, I guess first round, maybe if someone likes him. I still think
I don't know.
Maybe a day 2 kind of guy.
Yeah, I think it'll be round 2.
Yep. All right, number 5 on our list, Ronald Jones III from USC.
Not RG3, RJ3.
RJ3. Oh my gosh,
that's gonna be tough.
Whoa, I hadn't even processed that yet. I was like, oh god, RJ3. Oh god,
that's gonna be tough.
Bobby J Sticks instead of Bobby J Sticks from USC.
Oh man,
he comes in height 6 foot, and then weight at 200, so a little light, lighter of a guy. 40 time 4.65 at the combine, but he pulled his hamstring. He's probably more of a 4.5 guy, maybe even 4.4, closer to Penny and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, he's definitely faster than 4.65.
Yeah, definitely. He's not one of these hard nosed like power backs like we've seen, like we said with the rest of these guys so far. More of a shifty guy, more of a quick runner. Really relies on his cuts and vision, I should say. Again, needs to gain a little bit of weight to be an every down NFL back. I think I don't know. I didn't compare him to this guy either. I know you can compare different elements of players and pick them apart.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Ronald Jones could be like Alvin Kamara-esque.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
He's not. You don't really look at him as a 3-down guy, but I think he could be in time. If he's got to bulk up, he's got to get stronger. But I think he can be a very, very good complementary back to a lot of teams at the moment.
Yeah.
I will say one knock on Ronald Jones. I will say not great balance. I noticed a lot of during the tape didn't really have. I know he's shifty and quick, but anytime he gets touched, it seems like he's just stumbling or even trips himself up in a lot of occasions. But yeah, what are you thinking about? Oh, Bobby J Sticks.
It's Ronnie 3 Sticks.
Ronnie 3 Sticks. I like the J. You got to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. I guess it can't be the same. Okay, all right, we'll say J. I'm going to compare to Jamal Charles. There's been a lot of talk about comparing him to Jamal Charles because they're both kind of considered to be undersized. He's 6 foot tall, but he only weighs 200 pounds, so he's got to bulk up the same way they thought Jamal Charles should bulk up. They're not really built to sustain 3 downs, just based on their size. Also, why people were so were comparing him to Jamal Charles is that Ronald said that he modeled his game after Jamal Charles. And he said that that's the reason he wore number 25 and grew out his dreadlocks.
Well, there you go.
So he's definitely comparing himself to Jamal Charles, so I thought I would too.
Yeah, that seems like a perfect reason to me.
Yep.
I get him compared to Tevin Coleman.
I like that.
I think he'll come in. I think he'll get a lot of hype during training camp. I don't know. Depending on what team he goes to will obviously define his role, but I think he's going to be more of a backup to start his career and then hopefully be able to bulk up and really shine in the latter part of his career if he lasts that long. But it's the same thing I'm thinking with Tevin Coleman. He is a fantastic backup, and I think he could be a great starter. It just took him a little time to really grasp systems and be developed as a kind of a pass catcher and a 3-down back, and that's what Ronald Jones, I think, can do. Maybe do some in-between-the-tackle stuff as well.
Yep.
But, I think he's probably going to fall to second or third.
Yeah, I think when we get down into these next 4 or 5, we're probably looking at, hopefully second round, but probably into the third and fourth.
I don't know. This next guy, I think, could jump into the top.
He's good, yeah.
Into the first round.
He's been all over the place as far as like draft projections and rankings and stuff like that. We're talking about Sony Michel from Georgia.
Sony Michel.
Michel, sorry. I was honestly pretty surprised that we have him kind of low. Well, no, I'd say we have him like middle of the pack. Some people have him like in around 10, and some people have him like top 3.
Yeah,
it's very all over the place. So I don't really know. It's hard to judge what other people are gonna think about him. That's why I don't have no idea what round he's gonna go in. But he's 5'11", 214, so a little bit bigger than J3 Sticks?
Ronnie J Sticks.
Ronnie J Sticks. Oh man, he ran a 40 of 4.54, so not the fastest one we've seen.
Yeah, slower than Nick Chubb. That's what a lot of because obviously both Georgia guys and everyone thought Sony Michel was gonna blow Nick Chubb out of the water in the 40, but that's just more praise to Nick Chubb there than downgrade to Sony Michel.
Yeah. He had in 2017 with Georgia, he had 1,227 yards and 16 touchdowns, but he also split time, or not really split time. He shared time with Nick Chubb and DeAndre Swift. So those are some pretty impressive numbers without being the feature back.
Yeah.
It's just what he could have done if he was the only guy they had. They were just blessed to have a lot of running backs.
Mm-hmm.
But in the national championship against Alabama, which I'm sure you remember.
I do. Very, very, very well. He was pissing me off for a good 3 quarters.
Yeah. He had a way better game than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, I thought, did not perform well in the championship game.
Yeah. And granted, I will say that's more of game scheme because Alabama is known to shut down like the big, heavy runners. They shut down Leonard Fournette in the past. They shut down Todd Gurley in the past. Guys like that, and the more speedsters, the guys who can get outside are the ones that really give Bama some struggles.
Yeah. And so this is a guy that, he could go overlooked and, fall into that second round. But he also could go in the first round because someone really likes him. It's just really hard to predict. What do you think about him?
I think he's. I got to stop comparing people to Alvin Kamara. It's just when I don't even have him.
It's because Alvin Kamara has like a little bit of everybody in him.
he does, I guess. It's bizarre. Alvin Kamara is a super talent, which I guess is why I shouldn't compare him to them.
Yeah.
But in the fact that Sony Michel is kind of thought of as primarily a pass catcher, like a change of pace kind of guy. But I think he could easily take a starting role in an offense in certain scenarios. I think he'd be great with like the Patriots. I think they'd love to have a guy like Sony Michel. Ball security and pass protection, a little bit of an issue, so maybe not the best fit for the Patriots in that regard. But he has his turnover or his fumble rate is actually really, really high, and it's kind of surprising because his number of carries aren't very high at all. So that might be a little worrisome. Getting hit multiple times might jar the ball loose from Sony Michel. Yeah. But I got him compared to Noshawn Moreno, actually, speaking of another Georgia running back.
Wow.
Going throwback, where are they now kind of guy. But, coming out of college, Noshawn, he wasn't really a power back. He had a little bit in him, but he was more of the get out on the edge kind of guy, more of a pass catcher. We kind of saw that a little when he was with the Broncos. Obviously, Peyton Manning elevated that offense to a whole nother level. But I think Sony Michel can be basically a Noshawn Moreno who can hopefully stay healthy.
Yeah. You don't want to. Hopefully, his career doesn't end up like Noshawn Moreno's for sure.
Yeah.
It was tough for me to pick one to pick a pro player to compare Sony to, but I picked Theo Riddick just because of the pass catching ability. Theo Riddick, I don't think he's not built to be your every down back, but he performs a specific role and he does it well. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. So, and I think that wherever Michel goes, he'll find success in some sort of similar role to that.
All right. Maybe first rounder. If he gets the first round draft stock, I think he's whatever team takes him there, they're going to use him more like an Alvin Kamara. If he falls to maybe like the third or fourth round, he's probably going to be used, like you said, like a Theo Riddick. Yeah. So it's kind of just where he's drafted and what kind of stock is put into him. But anyway, number 7 on our list, Royce Freeman from Oregon, 5'11", 229, ran a 4.55 40. This is another big guy. Got another big guy after all these small guys we were talking about. Basically, I've written down a poor man's Rashad Penny. He's a big guy who can catch the ball, doesn't really seek out contact that much, even though Royce, I think, has a little... I can see the arguments for him being the guy that's scared to seek out contact because Royce isn't shifty like Penny is. Penny's on a whole nother level of big guy being able to make people miss. That's why a lot of people don't really see Royce Freeman as a power back. It's just he can catch the ball. He's not really the fastest guy. I don't know. It's hard to gauge what he can do. I think he could be a very, very good goal line back. I have 2 names written down, but I'll let you go ahead and say one. Maybe we have the same.
I've got Deontay Foreman.
Okay. No, I don't. But that's a good one too. He can fall into this category.
They're really similar size and their strengths as far as their role and how they carry the ball. I think there's a lot of similarities. Neither one are really elusive, but they're both big people.
They are big people.
They're just large.
Yeah.
And they both kind of rely on their upper body strength whenever they're running. And he could have, I think, as far as his role going into 2018, wherever he's drafted, I think he could have a pretty similar role to D'Onta Foreman, where you see flashes of greatness, but he's behind a feature running back.
Yeah.
So I think that was the best one that I could come up with.
Yeah, I had Jonathan Stewart written down as one.
Okay.
A bigger back, he can catch at the backfield.
I think I had him down first, and I changed it. So that's good.
Not too flashy, not very shifty, but he seems to play like he wants to be. Really doesn't use his body that much. Jonathan Stewart learned over a couple of years to really do that primarily, and I think that helped his career in the long run. That's what he's been the past couple of years. Yeah. I also had Jeremy Hill written down.
Okay.
Can catch the ball, doesn't do it that much.
Nope.
But I think Royce Freeman could learn a lot from guys just watching tape like Jeremy Hill and Jonathan Stewart, and even obviously D'Onta Foreman. There's not much tape on him in the NFL yet, but I think Royce Freeman can learn a lot from them. I know a lot of people look back at Royce Freeman being with Marcus Mariota and saying that's why Royce Freeman was able to have such a productive college career in the high-paced Oregon offense. We haven't really seen a lot of Oregon players pan out in the NFL. We saw the only ones we've seen have been like Marcus Mariota and LeGarrette Blount, which if Royce Freeman is on the LeGarrette Blount side, if he learns to be like a big power back, then I could see that being a pretty good fit for Royce Freeman. But I think he's got a lot to learn in how the NFL is going to work. He's not going to be able to run away from guys like he did in the Pac-12.
No.
Yep.
No, definitely not. Next up, we have got Carry On. It's just I think it is Carry On.
Yeah, Carry On.
Every time I say that name, I just think of Carry On My...
Carry on my wayward son.
That first line just goes through my head every single time. So Carry On Johnson.
He gonna carry on.
He might. He's from Auburn, so Brandon's watched him a few times.
I have.
He's pretty similar in size, a little bit smaller than Royce Freeman, but still 5'11". He's 213 pounds. He ran a 4.54. So a lot of similarities to Royce as far as size, just a little not quite as stocky.
Yeah.
He definitely showed off his talent against Alabama and Georgia, which, if you can show off against those two defenses, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah. Okay.
No one really shows off to those defenses often.
Yeah, and showing off is a very, very big understatement. He was the only offensive production in those games. He was the reason Jarrett Stidham, quarterback for Auburn, was able to throw and have the time to throw like he did, because Kerryon Johnson was taking so much away from those defenses.
Oh yeah. I just watching him, we've got, downhill running is great. He's tough. He has really good vision, which you were talking about that earlier. That's one of the qualities that you really look for.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
In draft prospects. What else do you really like about him coming into this year?
Well, I mean, you said pretty much. I mean, sticking with the vision thing, that's why I got to compare it to DeMarco Murray. He's not.
That's also who I had him.
He's not as tall as DeMarco Murray, and I don't think as quick. But the vision's there. I think they kind of run similarly. He kind of has an upright running style, which is usually a bad thing, but DeMarco has the same kind of upright running style as well. It might lead to some problems, but he's a tough guy, and I really, really like the toughness and vision. You give me those two, and I'll give you praise all day long.
Yep.
Love that. And the fact that he was able to run over Alabama and Georgia was that's another
level of respect from Brandon.
Yeah. Probably going to be a third or fourth round guy if someone really likes him. Coming in at number 9, Kalen Ballage from Arizona State University. This is the big guy in the draft, the big power guy. 6'2", 228. He's a monster of a running back. Yep. Ran a 4.46. Yeah. He ran. That's the same. That's
impressive.
Same as Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
He's not as shifty as Penny. Obviously, he's
got more weight.
A little more. I guess stiff in the hips.
Yeah.
So not as shifty, but yeah, easily one of the biggest backs in the class. Surprisingly fast, super, super quick first step. It is. He hits the hole at 100 miles per hour, kind of like Ezekiel Elliott does. Just full speed ahead all the way. But yeah, a lot of teams have regarded him as soft for not seeking out contact and using his size to his full capability, which I watched the tape.
I don't know.
They kind of have a point. It's kind of weird. He gets tripped up kind of easily. He's another upright runner, and I think Kerryon being an upright runner and having the vision he does helps him produce even more. Kalen Ballage, his upright running style, I don't think he has the vision there just yet. So I think that could be a problem at some point. If he doesn't have the right hole, it might be like I got two names written down. One is very, very bad. One could be some potential there. So you go ahead and say your comparisons, and I'll give you mine.
Well, I kind of cheated and did back to back. I also compared him to DeMarco Murray.
Well, there you go.
Because of the upright running style. DeMarco,
he's definitely got more. He's more similar in just like his measurables, like height, weight. Upright runner, like you said, than Kerryon Johnson was. But I just think there's gather yourself. But their styles of running, I could see both being compared to him.
Yeah, and they're both bigger framed people, and they kind of surprise you with their pass catching ability. You've seen DeMarco Murray have some success there. Neither one of them are really known for going after contact. DeMarco Murray's not the pounded down your throat. If he has to, he will, but he's not really known for that. But they can both, if they get into the open field, they can make defenders miss really easily. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really like about. That's one of the things I really like about both of these guys. Who did you have him? Well, you gotta give me both.
Yeah, you want the good. You want the good or the bad first?
Give me the good. We'll start off positive.
The good. Darren McFadden.
Okay.
Again, a tall runner, not as heavy as Ballage McFadden was, but Okay, we're watching the Kansas Duke game right now. Just went into overtime, so. Okay, back to this.
You will already know that.
We got to finish before the game starts back. But what was I saying? Oh, Darren McFadden.
Yeah.
Similar height, similar speed. Ballage is heavier than McFadden, which that might be even better for him being able to break tackles and things like that. But McFadden, I think, is that could be the, I wouldn't say ceiling, because I think Ballage with his size and weight, I think could be even better than McFadden. Yeah. But that's the good. Yeah. So the bad, Trent Richardson.
Oh, God.
Trent Richardson.
Doesn't he play in the CFL?
I don't know where he plays now.
I'm pretty sure it's Canadian.
But, and similar in size, both very fast. They were very, very fast. Great combines even. But I think the lack of vision, I think the not seeking out contact, I think that could be a huge problem, and that could be the ultimate fate of Kalen Ballage is Trent Richardson. I don't like saying that, but I think that's kind of where it could be.
Yeah, I don't want to banish anyone to the Canadian Football League either, but I guess we'll see. I mean, I do see some similarities in the run style. I can't say it's bad, but just unfortunate.
Yeah. I made Brett sad with that one.
Yeah. So who we got rounding out the top 10?
Number 10, and again, a lot of our honorable mentions, which we'll say here in a minute, could have gotten this spot. But number 10, just for the speed itself, Nyheim Hines from North Carolina State, height 5'9", weight 197, so under 200 pounds. Again, 4.38 40.
That's incredible.
He is just a speedster. He is the speedster in this class. That's what he is. Nothing powerful about him. No. He's the scat back. Change of pace guy. Not seen as a starter. He will not be a starter in the NFL. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, you can't start and be under 200 pounds.
No,
you'll get broken.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, he might be able to bulk up, but even if he does, I still, with that speed, change of pace is all I can see him being.
Yeah.
But yes, even that, you can add tremendous value on a team with being the change of pace guy. We see it in guys like Theo Riddick, Darren Sproles, Chris Thompson, just speedsters. That's all they do, and they do it very, very well. And I think Nyheim Hines can bring a lot of value to teams in that regard. Maybe kind of like Tariq Cohen did last year.
Speaking of Tariq Cohen, that is who I had him compared to.
Yeah.
Both of these guys, they're quick and they're change of pace players. Tariq Cohen ran a 4.42, so Hines is on paper faster than Tariq Cohen. Neither one of them are going to be viewed as a number one running back, but both of them are gonna, I think, gonna be used as an important weapon to the offense
and used a lot, even though they're not starters. Yes.
Yeah, the teams are going to play to their strengths and put them in situations for them to have the maximum impact. And it's not going to be a 3-down back situation, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about him like we were talking about Tariq Cohen this year.
Yeah, and if he goes to a bad team that's playing from behind all the time, he's going to be used a lot.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. But I have him compared to another scat back. We haven't seen him, or I don't even know if he's in the NFL anymore, honestly. Dree Archer, he was just the speedster. He was the only. That was the only thing he was used for on the Steelers' offense.
He was the Madden MVP too.
Yeah, he was. Throwback to Madden, whatever number it was. But yeah, Nyheim Hines definitely going to be coveted for his speed in this draft. I think he'll be probably around 4 or 5 that we'll see him go. All right, honorable mentions. Let's do it.
All right.
Almost. They close but no cigar in the top 10.
Close. Speaking of cigars, Bo Marlboro.
Bo Scarbrough.
Bo Scarbrough.
Yeah,
I really struggle saying that name, but I like it.
Yeah, I think he was in my top 10. I think I had him at number 10.
Yeah, I think I had him at either 11 or 12.
Yeah, so that's why I guess
it was close. It was really close.
Yeah,
and he has a lot of talent. You know, we've seen him be successful. I mean, we've seen a lot of players be successful at Alabama. So yeah. I think that he has a pretty good shot of making something happen.
Yeah, I think
maybe not the first year, but as a developer,
I think him and Kalen Ballage are actually kind of similar. Very, very big guys. They can run pretty well. A little upright in their running, but if they get in the open field, good luck. Good luck to you. Josh Adams, another name from Notre Dame. We got Mark Walton, Akram Wadley, John Kelly from UT. We don't have to. Shout out to Peyton. Darrell Williams from LSU. Got a lot of SEC guys in here. And then Rock Thomas. He was. He's more the smaller school kind of guy coming out. There's been a lot of hype on him actually, but all these guys are probably aside from I think Bo Scarbrough can sneak into. He's our only guy out of our top 10 that could maybe sneak into second or third round. Because people just love to draft SEC running backs. I mean, you can just think of all the ones that are starters in the NFL right now are actually like it's ridiculous. And they play. If you're looking to draft a running back, you want to draft one that has like good vision skills that have played against tough defenses and produced well. So that's always good to draft SEC running backs.
Yeah.
So who is your favorite late round running back?
Oh, this is define late round.
Third round and on.
Okay. I really like Nyheim Hines. I think he'll go third round on. I think that he can, as far as for fantasy, I don't think he's ever going to be that true feature back. But I really do think that he can find a role like Tariq Cohen and provide some real fantasy value. Someone that you could easily put into a flex option week in and week out and feel comfortable with it.
The big home run hitter guy.
Yeah. But I also really like Bo Scarbrough. I think that what you're saying about this whole conference thing. SEC is they are dominant. They have really really good defenses, and I think any running back that plays against those defenses at a high level has a really good shot to make some big waves in the NFL. So that's another late rounder that I think could really pan out.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Darrell Williams. Mentioned him just a second ago. From LSU, again, another SEC running back. If it wasn't for Leonard Fournette, a year ago, and if it wasn't for Derrius Guice this past year, Darrell Williams would be the talk of the town. Yeah. This guy is super talented. I thought he was going to I don't know what year he is, but I thought he was going to stay another year and really be the focal point of the LSU offense. But he's coming out this year. I think Darrell Williams is a fantastic late-round pick that a lot of people are going to be sleeping on because Derrius Guice was so productive and has so much hype going into this year. And rightfully so, but Darrell Williams is getting a little overlooked, I believe.
Yeah.
Which running back, besides Saquon Barkley, will make the biggest impact in fantasy in 2018?
I want to go with Rashad Penny. I really like Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
So I just think that he's gonna find himself in a good situation wherever he's drafted. And I think that he has a real shot to get a lot of volume, and volume is what you want in fantasy. So that would be my pick besides Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, obviously. Saquon, where do you think Saquon, just even if you go, like, I'm trying to think of a bad situation he could go to. Like, maybe the Browns is a bad situation where he gets...
I don't think it's bad.
Well, in terms of him getting thrown in with Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson, they might not use him as much as a Giants or a Colts would.
It wouldn't be a bad situation. The thing you got to think about that would potentially make it a bad situation is the Browns may not be in scoring position very often,
True.
As they are known to do.
Even though people are very adamant saying all these changes are going to help them tremendously.
And they may.
They may. Yeah,
there's a lot of upside, but I mean, the Jets kind of unenticing.
No, he's not going. He's not. I don't think the Jets will pass on a quarterback even if Saquon's there. Honestly, but what I was initially asking, where do you think Saquon in fantasy just in running backs? Where do you think he would be drafted?
In a fantasy draft?
Yeah, fantasy draft out of the running backs.
A lot of it's going to depend on what team he goes to.
Yeah.
In terms of running backs, I mean, you put him in the top 10. I mean, Leonard Fournette went in the top 10 last year.
Yeah, we saw Zeke the year before go in the top 10. And I don't know if Kareem Hunt got up there when Spencer Ware was hurt. I can't remember if he fully got all the way up.
I don't know about that.
Joe Mixon was close. He was close. I'm going to look up... I think there's already ADPs out for rookie running backs, actually. I'm trying to find that as we speak. But, my running back, who I think will make the biggest fantasy impact, besides Saquon, Sony Michel. I think he's going to be that guy who gets some big, heavy home run hitting plays early on, and I think he'll eventually get even more and more carries as the season progresses, and maybe even gets like an Alvin Kamara type of role eventually in that offense. Saquon Barkley ADP is it's not too high right now. Wait. Well, they gave me a bunch of... What the heck? My phone's being crazy. Well, I don't know. I think they're saying 5th round right now, so I guess that wouldn't be...
I would have thought in
5th pick of the 5th round.
I was thinking more in the 4th round. I think that... And as we get closer to the fantasy drafts, I think that he will rise. What do you think would be the best situation that is like in the realm of possibilities? Obviously, you could say goes to any of these high teams, but he's not.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the best situation for him, as far as fantasy production?
I think, being realistic, and in the fact that he'll probably go top 5, maybe drop to the 7th or 8th pick if people are just depending on what people are doing with all these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think Barkley. Are you talking about Barkley or Michel? Barkley. Sorry.
Yeah.
Barkley. I think. I don't know if the Browns would be that great, but I think him going to the Colts with a healthy Andrew Luck, or the Giants where he is clear, like Jonathan Stewart is almost pushed aside.
Yeah.
I think those would be the best options. If he fell even further, maybe. I don't think the Broncos would take him. I don't think the Jets will take him. I sure hope they don't take him. If he gets to the Bucs, that'll probably be...
That was mine, yeah.
That'll
and
probably...
I'm not being a homer or anything. I really think that, you know how the Buccaneers rely on their running backs.
I think that'll be almost identical to what the Jags did with Fournette last year. But granted, Bucs don't have the defense that the Jags do, and they can't hold opponents to where they can just completely force Leonard Fournette / Saquon Barkley down their throats.
But, based on coaching decisions, even if they are in situations where they're coming from behind, they'll still give it to the running back and let him run for 1.5 yards.
It's going to be a lot more than 1.5 yards for Saquon Barkley, I can tell you that much. Yeah. But he is, I don't think people realize what Saquon Barkley is. He can be, he can be Le'Veon Bell. He can be David Johnson. Yeah. Leonard Fournette is, that's his floor. That's not in style and fantasy production, I'm saying. No. And how he's used. But no, he can do everything. He'll be on the field like Le'Veon Bell, like David Johnson for probably 99.9% of the plays. Yeah. And it's just a whole other ball game when a team gets a player like that, and not just getting a player like that, using a player like that. That's a big deal.
And he's definitely going to be drafted to be used.
Yep. All right, one more question, and then we'll close it out and watch the end of this Kansas-Duke game. Which running back could be the next Alvin Kamara or Kareem Hunt in fantasy this next year? Like the late round to undrafted guys in fantasy that bring huge return on investments.
Well, I only read the first part of that question, and I didn't read the late round part because I already said what you said for the previous question. Sony Michel, not really late round. I understand that, but I do think that he has the potential to have a rookie season similar to Kareem Hunt and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, I wrote down Rashad Penny and Ronald Jones.
Okay.
I think that Sony Michel, wherever he's drafted, I think in fantasy, just in regards to fantasy, I think people are going to overdraft the hell out of him. Okay. I think they're going to look at him and be like, this is you saw what he did in the national championship game. You saw that he was almost taking over Nick Chubb's job. He's kind of Alvin Kamara-esque in that regard. They're going to look at that and they're going to be like, okay, we want to jump on this. I think his ADP is going to go through the roof, and it's going to be way too overpriced, at least for my blood. But, Rashad Penny, Ronald Jones, I think they're going to be the guys kind of like Jamal Williams last year, kind of like Kareem Hunt, kind of like Alvin Kamara, the guys that aren't going to be drafted until maybe the 10th round. And I think they could really produce big in fantasy.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so that is all for today. We actually got this running back episode into one episode.
That was shocking.
Yeah, surprisingly. We will be back next week to talk wide receivers, rookie wide receivers. The draft is, a little over a month away, I believe. We will have I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, I'll have the official huge announcement on next week's show, so definitely stay around and check that out. Make sure you're sharing us with everyone. Everyone's going to want to hear about this. So yeah, that's going to be all for today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the423football. That's where you can find out anything you need to know about what we're doing and what the NFL is doing, what's going on, everything like that. So yeah, like us on Facebook, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Give us a like, leave your comments and reviews. Thanks for listening. We are the 423 Football Podcast.
Peace out.